Hello, hello, hello. This is Tamika Peters, President and CEO of Grow Your Nonprofit, where we help startups, small and stagnant nonprofits grow through fundraising strategies, strategic planning, and so much more. Guys, today you in for a treat. I have my special guest here, Jeanne. She is the CEO of Above Board Chamber. We will talk about her business model, where she has a philanthropic arm and she loves to help local businesses right here in the beautiful Fort Myers. But before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsors of my podcast, Vaxtruth. They just received a grant from the CDC to raise awareness of COVID-19 and vaccine resources in the Black and Brown communities. AVID, that stands for the Associations of Haitians Living Abroad. They just opened an amazing support center right here in the beautiful Fort Myers, where they will help you with immigration support, utility billing, and English as a second language. Best Insurance USA, helping you with all your life insurance needs, health insurance enrollment, and so much more. Trinity Life Foundation Naples, helping at-risk youth through their enrichment program. Last but not least, Premier Mobile Health Clinic, helping people who are uninsured and underinsured with all of their healthcare needs. They are your ride to safe health. So, like I said, my special guest here, Jeanne. How are you doing, Jeanne?
I am doing well. You have some great sponsors.
Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Absolutely.
And I know with your sponsors, they make it all possible.
Absolutely. Sponsors glue us all together.
They do. They do. So before we get into the Above Board Chamber, please share with our audience a little bit about yourself and why did you found the Above Board Chamber?
Well, I wanted to do something that could help businesses. I had I have run a chamber prior to this, and I realized that when I had people getting up to speak, I had a person speaking, and most of the people are talking about themselves, their tapes, and things like that, but nobody was learning anything. So I wanted to do something that was educational. So we started the Above Board Chamber almost 14 years ago, and what we wanted to do is panels of experts that teach business topics. Business topics are really important in the business community because things change continuously, and having the right opinions to learn from is essential to how we're going to learn how to do our business. And those kind of things are really, really important to us. We want people to learn. I believe that every business person out there and every business owner, they have things they don't know how to do. So if we can build a foundation on those different topics, so when they go in the room, they learn at our meetings, and when they walk out, they feel confident that they can have a conversation like cryptocurrency. We brought in the Federal Reserve last year on cryptocurrency. A lot of people didn't know what they were talking about. Then they could have conversations when they walked out of the room, and then they can go further in their education on whatever subject we're talking about at that particular meeting. We meet in Lee and Schuyler County. We want people to learn. We want to make sure they look good and they sound good and they are good to their clients and themselves.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's really important, Jeanne. I know I've been to several chamber events, and yours is unique. And I know before we started recording the podcast, you mentioned people mention the Above Board Chamber as the education chamber. Not only that, it's a chamber of family. It's a chamber of warmness. Yeah. As soon as the moment you walk through the door, when Jeanne sees you, she comes up and she hugs you and welcomes you. And that's every single time. Every single time. And everyone knows each other and everyone is genuinely happy to see you. So it's almost like you're coming back home to like a business family for people who want to see you succeed, and they're so happy to see you. Now, how did you bring that culture about? Because, you know, it all starts from the top with leadership.
It all starts with the Lord. It all came from prayer. I wanted to do something, as I mentioned, that people learned, and they felt like, sort of like Cheers, the TV program, where everyone knows your name. Yes. And we do hug everybody that walks in the door. And let me tell you why. Sometimes when people walk in the door, they're leaving something out there, or they can't leave it out there, that somebody's sick or somebody just died, and I see it in their face, and I hug them, and I feel the hurt or whatever's going inside, and we walk outside for a minute so they can get it out, and we say a little prayer, and they come back into the room and they feel like, okay, now I can do this. Because people are going through a lot of things, especially the last couple of years. So we need to be there. And it's funny you mentioned family, because a lot of people call the Above Board Chamber the family.
Yeah.
You know, which is really cute and adorable, but they're friends. One of the things that I love about our members is they love each other. They actually love each other. So we have members in both counties. You'll see people in the Lee County go to the Naples meeting, and people in the Naples go to the Lee County. They go to learn, and they go to be with each other.
You know, most of the chambers there for a particular county. Above Board Chamber is both Lee and Collier counties. Why did you decide that business model to cover both counties?
Because I ran another chamber and I did 5 counties.
Whoa.
So I wanted to make sure that I already was known in both counties.
Okay.
So I knew it would be fine that we could do both, because we already had a following of what we did, but we wanted to educate people. And that is the most important thing. You can do a lot for people, but if you educate them, they can do so much more. And we do things for our members. For instance, if you're a member of the Above Board Chamber, we can do blogs. You can do blogs on our websites for free. You can put press release up for free. You can put events up for free. And if you're looking to hire people, we let you put that up for free. And now we started a new part of the Above Board Chamber that you're not even aware of it. We have a dream team.
What does that mean?
Dream team is a bunch of people that are top professionals that have been in their business for many, many years, and they are going to help our members, because there's people that don't have things. They don't have logos. They don't have a website. They need a brochure made. They need help with their social media. All these different things people need. So now we have a team, a dream team, where if you need help and you're a member of the Above Board Chamber, the dream team is going to help you at a discounted price. A lot of people cannot afford that $1,000 press release.
Right.
And a lot of people can, but we want to make sure everybody has that. So not only do we want to educate our members, we want to make sure they look good. So when they go out there and they sell their business and tell people who they are, that they have the things that they need to make them go further.
And you know, I really like that, because this is a little different. We normally bring on nonprofits, but you have a for-profit business, but your business has a philanthropic arm. Let's talk about that philanthropic arm and why you feel it was important to give back to nonprofits.
Nonprofits are the hands and feet of our community, and I ran many nonprofits over the years. And I think I spoke to you earlier. I remember years ago when you would buy, and people still do this, they would buy a table and all the nonprofits would be in a room. And I noticed the most popular people had people going to their table. So if I paid $300 for a table, so did the girl over there, but nobody knew her, and they would come visit me, and it wasn't fair. So I made a pledge with God that when nonprofits came to the Above Board Chamber, they can have a display table absolutely free. We need to help them. And many years ago when we started the Above Board Chamber, I remember, I think it was Community Cooperative got up and spoke, and there was a real estate office in Cape Coral that listened to that nonprofits, because we like to feature our nonprofits as well. And they adopted them, and for years they went and helped them with their soup kitchen and things like that. So if we take our nonprofits and we put them up there around the room absolutely free, and encourage our business members to go find out who they are and find out what touches your heart and go out there and help them, we're doing our job.
Yeah, that's very important. So with that said, the premise of the show is growing your nonprofit. So your your business is a for-profit. How were you able to grow your chamber? Some little secrets that you could share for our for-profit and nonprofit businesses. What model you use in order to grow?
I think the big word is kindness.
Kindness.
I think kindness is really important. We just did meetings this month in the Above Board Chamber about traditional conversations going against a digital world right now, a digital age, and the differences. It's so important that you get to know your clients or get to know the people around you. And I'll give you an example. We had a company that was part of the Above Board Chamber, and it was sold. And the new owners stopped doing that. They stopped the speaking back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And people would have to send them an email or send them a text. Most of the companies left. Most of the companies left because people are used to that. might be fairly touchy, but it works.
Yes.
Emails are good, texts are good, but picking up a telephone call, and I do that all the time. I tell my members, if they need me, even if it's Sunday night at 10 o'clock, and they're having a hard time, they can call me up, and I will pray with them and walk them through it and be there for them. And I think as human beings, we're supposed to do that.
Right.
We're supposed to help each other.
So good old-fashioned communication and kindness.
Communication
is
and kindness.
key.
But the communication has to be kind. Pick up a phone and say, how are you doing? Can I help you with something? We had panels in both counties this month and the different things that they did to make sure. One of our panelists said she has a Zoom that she does. She's a big financial. She says, I send it to my clients. Even if one shows up, I do it. Everybody matters. And if you make everybody feel like they matter, it's going to work. And they're going to come back because people matter. And when we're born as little born babies, the first thing we want is our mom. We want somebody to hold us. And it doesn't end. It doesn't end. So kindness goes a long way. Write a little note. See how people are doing. When you're meeting with people, go say hi. Don't tell them about your business. Ask them about their business.
Yes, that's very important.
Big thing. When people walk in a room, I personally don't like the word networking because it conjures up in me people throwing business cards at me. So it's not how you meet somebody. I'm going to meet somebody and remember them by the way they spoke to me, by their smile, by their kindness. You know, people that just keep giving you cards, there's nothing wrong with having cards, but they have a place.
Right.
Ask the person who they are, what do they do?
It may not even be a match for you.
It might not even be a match. Or if you go to somebody's office, a good thing to do is ask them how they're doing. Don't go right into the business. If they have pictures of their family and behind their desk, note them. Say, is that your family? Like, get to the personal stuff with people. People remember when you touch their heart. They might not remember everything you say in their head, but they'll remember your heart.
Right, how you made them feel. That's very important.
And our nonprofits are so important. We need them in our community because they make things happen. Who knew 3 years ago that, I don't even know, it's 4 now, when the pandemic started. How many people had to go get food and they still do today? Like, you don't know where people are at. They might have the nicest car and the nicest house in the whole world, and they might not have food in that house. They might not have next month's mortgage payment. So be kind, because we don't know where people are coming from. So if you have a nonprofit, go out there and get to know your volunteers. Show them that they matter. And if you have a business, if you go out there and find the businesses that are out there that you want to work with, be kind to them. Send them a letter. Get to know them.
Yeah, that's very important. Service above self.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I learned when I was a Rotarian. We always serve people, and there was always an abundance because you're a servant of God. And I've learned that a long time ago, because I had a great career in government. I worked in the mayor's office for the city of Naples, and then I was recruited to nonprofit, and a lot of people thought that I was crazy, that I left a government job with great benefits, with security, but I wasn't satisfied. I couldn't wait for Fridays. I couldn't wait to get home. But when I worked in the nonprofit sector, I knew the funds that I was raising, it made an impact in the lives of so many people. So leaving the corporate world and going out on my own as a consultant, I feel so blessed because now I get to work with an array of nonprofits, from the startup babies to the small ones, and I help them when they're crawling and they're training wheels, and just I have a nonprofit that started that with nothing, no volunteers, no donors, and this particular nonprofit wanted to give up. And we helped them get them on their way, and now they're partners with so many other nonprofits. They have $1 million budget, and they're doing really, really well. We're so proud of them, and that's what keeps me going. Is just helping the startup babies because they don't have anywhere to go.
You're making a difference.
Yes,
and we all need to do that. And it doesn't matter how busy you are. Find something that you can make a difference. If you have children, bring them.
Yes,
it's a family thing. It's an office thing. You want people to know your business. Get your staff involved in the community. Let them go to meetings and let them find out what's out there and bring it back to you so people know who you are. Make the invisible visible. And that's what you're doing with the nonprofits.
Right.
Because everybody needs to be seen. And when you're going out there and you're training them and telling them what to do, and we hold their hands. We hold their hands to help them to get going. But guess what? It makes a difference because they're going to take that seed that you're planting in them and they're going to be able to grow things all over our community.
Right. So say someone is struggling in their nonprofit or business. We talked about kindness, we talked about communication, and just good old-fashioned stewardship, just like you would do for a nonprofit, stewardship and engagement. How could someone start? What is the first step they need to start up on that path to not just being selfish and growing your business? It's not being selfish growing your business, but being a service to your clients, because guess what? Your business will grow if you're genuine and you're all about solving other people's problems and wanting to help. How does someone start? What's the first step?
I think the first thing is to talk to the people around you and get their opinions. Don't get your feelings hurt if somebody doesn't believe in you. When I started the Above Board Chamber, I had people saying, you can't do that.
Wow.
And I already did a chamber for 13 years. And they said, you can't do it. And I said, watch me.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all about working with the Lord and praying and getting yourself through.
Yes.
And when people are negative, you just smile and you just move on because they're not where you're at right then.
Right.
So you keep going. Once you get some opinion, just sit down and you listen to these people. I went around and talked to pastors. I talked to friends. I talked to business leaders. I said, what do you think if I do this? And everybody was saying, do it. And I said, okay, and that's what I did. And that's really important. And then you want to go over to the Small Business Development of Florida Gulf Coast University. They are phenomenal. You need to call them up and make an appointment. And they're free. So many people don't understand that. And these are professional people that know how to look at your business with a second set of eyes and figure out how you can get into business and get better. And if you're you already have a business and having a hard time, they can talk to you. They can talk to you about angel investors. They can talk to you about different things that can help your business grow. So surround yourself with people that believe in you, but they're also honest to you. And that's really important. I have different boards at the Above Board Chamber, and I have counselors in part of these things that if I have a question, they're top leaders in the community, I ask them, what do you think about this? It's good to have opinions, and it's good to listen to other people, and it's good to grow. So surround yourself with the best people that believe in you. The people that don't believe you, just smile and walk away.
Right. and you know, and sometimes it's not that person's fault that they don't believe in you, because God gave you the vision.
Exactly.
So it's not really for everyone to understand your vision. You just have to, that's where you have to walk by faith and not by sight. Because I know when my friends were telling me to start a podcast, and I said, okay, great, I'm going to rent a space.
Yeah.
So my friend was like, oh, no, you can do it. You can do it at home. And I said, well, if I did it at home, I'll probably record a few podcasts. I'll probably get bored. And plus, if I wanted guests, I don't want guests coming to my home to record a podcast. So I rented my first space, and I didn't know how I was going to afford it. But I said, do you believe in God? The answer was yes. Just do it. I put the deposit on, and then the rest is history. And then fast forward December of last year, I was blessed with the opportunity to get an even bigger space. And again, walking by faith, I saw this particular office. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I don't know how I was gonna make it happen. It was actually, I saw this place in September. A week later, the Hurricane Ian happened. So the deal stopped, and then we didn't end up closing until December 27th of 2022.
Yeah.
So it'll be almost a year that we've been here, and God has continued to bless us because we believe in serving and walking by faith and not by sight. So that's really important. So, Jeannie, if someone wanted to join the Above Board Chamber, how would they reach out to you?
Basically, they can go to our website. It's www.aboveboardchamber.com and fill out the application. And we'd love to have you join our chamber family. We really have good people. And we want to make sure that everybody has the advantages that we're able to give them so they can grow. So if they don't have the tools, and we will make sure they get them either from us or somebody else. If they need to meet certain people in the chamber that will help their business grow, we will make sure that happens too. We need to build a community. A community is extremely important if you're doing a nonprofit or a business. People matter. It's the most important thing. Communicate wisely and be there and be kind to people, and you watch your business grow. And when things don't go right, that means there's something else coming behind that's much better.
Right.
Sometimes God holds you back a little bit because there's something that's better. I had people tell me I couldn't do this, and I did it because I just listened to him and I listened to the people that I surrounded myself with. And that's how I grew, and I know you can do the same.
Well, thank you so much, Jeannie, for your time.
And thank you for what you do. This is so important to help the nonprofits is to grow their business, and you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
And we are blessed to know you and know what you do and let people know what you do because she's a rock star.
Oh, thank you so much. So guys, I hope you learned something here today. We didn't have a nonprofit here, but we had a for-profit business that has a philanthropic arm. So that's right, guys. If you have a for-profit business, you still can partner with nonprofits, help them with their mission. Your staff can get involved as a volunteer and help our community thrive. So I hope that you learn different strategies to grow your for-profit and nonprofit business. Those strategies were being kind, open communication, seeing if you could solve someone's problem. It's not all about you. It's about the service. God put us here as creators. He said, be fruitful and multiply. And that's how we multiply, by planting seeds into the ground and helping others get on their way. So guys, this is Tamika. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget about the Grow Your Nonprofit merch on the Etsy store. So stay tuned for more Grow Your Nonprofit podcast episodes. Introducing the Grow Your Nonprofit merch in our Etsy store. So go on over to our Etsy store today and explore our collection. Pick your favorites. By doing so, you're not only elevating your style, but also contributing to the Grow Your Nonprofit mission. Thank you for being part of our community, and thank you for your dedication to making a difference. We appreciate your support, and we can't wait to see you rocking our Grow Your Nonprofit merch. Now stay tuned for more empowering content on Grow Your Nonprofit podcast. And until our next time, keep growing and keep giving.